Well, you guys, we finished the Trap and Tone Challenge with LASHAE for the month of October. And I think it was great. It was challenging. It was amazing. We are so happy with the results, and we hope that, other people will join in for the next challenge and just try it out and see how you feel. So there is another challenge happening in November, okay? So go to the site, ifyoucanmove.com. The link is down below in my description box, and sign up for the challenge. And don't forget about TLC, NutriBurst, and all of the amazing products that they have at TLC. The link is down below to where you can purchase some of those products. I've even gotten my husband into the NutriBurst. I've gotten my husband into the tea, actually, especially if he isn't feeling that great. Sometimes he might have a little stomach issue. He drinks that tea and he feels great like an hour later. So, just saying. Don't listen to me though. All right, but yeah, y'all, just wanted to give y'all an update before we started this video, but yay, we finished. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue, and I am back for another This Is Us review. Before I get into it, I want to remind everybody to sign up for the secondary channel just in case something go down. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. So This Is Us started off with Rebecca and Jack lying in bed trying to let Kevin cry himself to sleep. Okay, this is when parents try to get their children to learn how to self-soothe instead of running in every time they cry. And Rebecca is having a really hard time with this. But Jack is constantly on her like, let him cry, let him cry. And for the first couple of times, he let Rebecca go in there and soothe Kevin. All right? The last time he was like, listen, I want to get some sleep, and we're never going to get him to sleep on his own if you don't stop going in there to coddle him. Let him cry himself to sleep. You know he's not wet. You know he's not hungry. You know he can breathe because he's screaming. He's okay. I know it's tough. Put some earphones on. Okay, I know they didn't have that back then. Yeah, they did. It was, late 70s. Probably not. Still. You know what I'm saying? Put some cotton swabs in your ear. Figure it out. But we all know you have got to let your children cry at some point so they can learn how to self-soothe. Teenage Kevin is staying up late, lifting weights, trying to play football at school, trying to keep his grades up at school. He has a lot going on and he's tired. Rebecca is noticing how tired that he is, and she feels like if he just wants to, take a day off or not do any of those things, he doesn't have to. And Jack is like, yeah, no, Rebecca, he's okay. He's all right. It's the best type of exhausted to do something you love. So we're going to work it out, okay? Now, Kevin goes to school. When Jack goes to pick him up from school, his coach is like, listen, I have people here who are not as talented as Kevin doing drills 7 days a week. And he has got to get better because he does not know the plays. So Jack says, you know what? He's up for the task. I'm going to make sure that he's ready. The coach suggests a weekend football camp, but he has to earn the coach putting in a good word for him. And Jack is all about it, okay? When they get home, Kevin wants to quit. It's hard. Now Kevin wants to quit. And Rebecca wants to baby him and allow him to quit. And Jack is like, no, I'm not going to let you do that. Please chill out and let him learn from this. Okay, you have coddled him. And I think that is a part of Kevin's issue, is that Rebecca is always trying to coddle him and make him feel better and make life easy for him. And I get it, you're his mother, but at some point you have to allow your children to do their own thing, to have their own mind, and to work through their own issues. Because if you keep coming in to save the day, they're never going to learn how to handle adversity on their own. And when they become adults and they're out in the world without you, which they will be, they need to know how to handle adversity without calling their mama to cry about it. Kevin overhears the conversation that Rebecca and Jack were having because he said he was soft. You hear that, okay? So he runs upstairs to Randall's room and asks Randall, who he'd been making fun of, to help him with his studying. Randall has a surefire way to get A's on his test by doing flashcards, and it takes him a long time to write everything out, but it helps him pass all of his tests with straight A's, okay? Now, this is something that Kevin just made fun of him for that morning, and now he's going to Randall to ask him for help. And Randall at first didn't take him seriously, but he does help him and he gets it. And when Rebecca goes upstairs, she sees Kevin getting help from Randall. They high-fived each other. So, of course, now she feels differently about it. Kevin says to Randall, dude, this is so much work. And he was like, being the only black kid at my school, I have to be the best. So it doesn't matter that it takes a long time. It doesn't matter that it's a lot of work. I have to get it done because I don't have a choice. Child, we all know about that, being a black kid at a white school or just being a black kid, period. You understand. You always have to be 3 times better. It's the black tax is what they call it. Rebecca goes back downstairs and tells Jack that he was right. She just saw Kevin and Randall in there high-fiving one another and him helping him study, and he's right. She gets it. Jack tells her that his dad used to call him a jack of all trades, but eventually his daddy lets him know that a jack of all trades means a master of none, meaning that you always want to tinker and be all over the place and move from one thing to the next, but you never master any of the things that you try. And he doesn't want Kevin to be that type of person. He wants Kevin to push through and know that he sees greatness in him and the rest of the kids. He sees greatness in his children and he wants to push them. And for him, it's okay to be ordinary because coming from his circumstances, his abusive, drunken household, it's amazing that he is able to give his children an ordinary, normal life. You know what I'm saying? He should be on the side of the road begging for change right now. But look at him, working hard, beautiful wife, beautiful children, adopt a child out of the kindness of his heart, also out of trauma, but also out the kindness of his heart, trying to be a better person, trying to be a better example for the kids. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like at the end of the day, she had to listen to Jack on this one because he was 100% right. I love Jack, y'all. I really do. So Kevin is an adult, right? And he's being faced with similar trials and tribulations. He got this movie, right? And he meets his co-star, Ava. She's so sweet. She's so great. The director, Foster, comes in and he's annoying, you guys. He's kind of a jerk to Kevin. You know, he's fawning over Ava, totally kind of ignoring Kevin. When they go through the lines, he keeps interrupting Kevin and asking him to repeat the line over and over again without giving him any specific note, just to do it over again. And Kevin is like, bruh, like he loses his temper eventually. Kevin says, I'm trying to stay in the scene, but you keep interrupting me. He was like, trust me, Kevin, I wish I didn't have to interrupt you. So Kevin waits for him after. And he asked him, you know, listen, if you have any specific notes for me, you know, let me know. I want to give you what you want. And after, you know, making crude small talk with this man, like he's trying to figure out what name to call you. You have to make a smart comment about that. He asks you exactly what you need from him as a director. And you say, oh, I didn't know you needed an attaboy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, you know, look, it annoyed me. But at the same time, he's not wrong. Kevin is the type of person that always needs validation. And it's because Rebecca has babied him throughout his whole life. See how we start from the beginning, teenage, now grown. See how that work out? Foster says, I learned one thing about you today, Kevin. You are a good actor. And when you die, they'll say he was a good actor. But if you want to be great, you'll come back tomorrow and attempt again to be great. Because today was just good. And Kevin was like, I'll see you tomorrow, Foster. Okay? Like, I got this. Something that his daddy taught him. Y'all, Toby and Kate are getting ready to watch the ultrasound for what they have now called baby Chloe. Okay, y'all know that is Ellie, the 30-some-odd-year-old single mom who is giving her child up for adoption to Toby and Kate. She's having an ultrasound. Kate goes with her and she FaceTimes with Toby so he can see the ultrasound. And she's like, there's baby Chloe. And Ellie has this look on her face like she's so uncomfortable. And Kate is like, okay, what's happening here? When they're leaving, she's like, hey, I noticed, you know, that you were upset. I'm sorry about that. I know that kind of, you know, must have rubbed you the wrong way that I had already picked out a name. And she was like, I know I told you my husband died, right? But we started dating when I was in the 10th grade. And I kind of felt like it was moving slow. You know, I'm trying to kiss him. Like, I don't know what's going on, but he's not giving me that action back. So one day I want to take things into my own hands. I take my shirt off. I'm standing there in my bra. And he's looking at me like he doesn't know what the hell is going on. And she says, basically, he had a lab partner that year who would tell him terrible things about Ellie every day, including she had some large hairy birthmark on her chest. And when he saw that she didn't have that large hairy birthmark on her chest, it's the realization that this girl must have liked you, known you liked Ellie, and then was trying to, you know, make you believe she was this ugly person underneath it all, but you still went out with her. So it was just like, boys are so stupid. But either way, the girl's name was Chloe. So yes, I don't like that name, Chloe. I don't think that Kate wants to change the name, but you know, Kate asks her if she's still serious about giving a baby up to them. And she says, I second guess a lot of things in my life, but I'm very sure about you and Toby. And I was just like, oh, thank God. But after Kate seemed to be upset, and it's because during this scene, and it's because Ellie told her she was considering an abortion, but she chose not to have one. So that put Kate in a mindset to think about, I'm guessing, the time when she got an abortion. We'll get to it. On her way home, Kevin calls her about what happened with the director. And he tells her how he really wants to get an Oscar, and he really wants to, you know, bring Rebecca to the Oscars before she can forget, you know, because they kind of feel like they're rushing against this clock now because everybody knows that Rebecca's mental is going to deteriorate. But he says first he needs to give an acting performance that isn't tired. And Kate says, you know, well, that's what Randall said. He said your acting was tired. And he was like, this is not about Randall. And she's like, listen, I had a conversation with him, and a lot of the things he said have stuck with me, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about them. Like how hard it must have been for him being a black kid with white siblings, with white parents. And Kevin is being one of these like white guys that refuses to see that black people's lives are harder. Like they don't want to admit that because their lives have been hard. So they think, oh, my life has been hard. You can't tell me that your life is just harder because you're black. And it's like in certain areas of our lives, no matter what, it is harder for us. You are more safe in this world than I am. And that's just on God. And there's no need to argue about facts. Kevin believes that his parents were always all over Randall. So he doesn't see how they ignored Randall's blackness and how by doing so, they harmed him because he didn't have somebody there with him when he had to understand why y'all are killing black kids for no damn reason on the news. You know what I'm saying? Out in these streets. He had nobody to talk to about that. All of the things that probably happened to him in school with the racism, being the only black kid. He had nobody to talk to about that. Randall has went through his whole life being supportive and being a stone and a rock for you and your mama and Kate. And nobody took a second to think about what it is like for him. And it annoyed me in this moment that Kevin refused to understand that. So Kate says, all of us are still dealing with things from our childhood. And he was like, what that's supposed to mean? And she kind of just lets it go. But that means that everybody got something that happened to them as kids that they're still dealing with today. Everybody does. When she gets home, she's still upset. And her talk with Ellie brought up some stuff for her, like I said. She tells Toby about it. She explains that she got pregnant for that abusive boyfriend when she was 18. We didn't get to see, you know, what her decision was, but I can pretty much guess that Kate had an abortion when she was 18 years old because she didn't want to have a baby for an abusive ex. And she tells Toby that. She hasn't told anybody that. Her mom doesn't know that. Her brothers don't know that. Nobody knows that. So y'all, Malik is shadowing Randall, okay? He's trying to get an internship with Randall. But for right now, he's just shadowing him around City Hall. And everybody's excited. Randall is super excited. Y'all know Malik and Randall are like this at this point. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not, Randall. Y'all are like this. Deja is terrified, okay? She does not want them to be getting any closer because it makes it even more weird and awkward and corny for her. But girl, just get used to it. Your boyfriend and your daddy about to be best friends. So they get to work. And Randall is talking to Jaywan about whatever he has to do for that day. And Malik is falling asleep. Randall wakes him up. Jaywan says that he can't do the live stream that they've been doing every day now. So he says, hey, Malik, you can do the live stream. You're a young kid. You know how to press record, okay? Just make sure you stop it when I'm done. He says, okay. Malik gets a call from the babysitter in the middle of Randall doing his video. And I don't understand why you can't be on the phone and look at the monitor at the same time. But he turns away from the monitor to answer the babysitter about whatever's going on with the baby. Meanwhile, Randall thinks the video has ended and has started to take off his clothes to change into the clothes he's going to wear for his run. So he's taking his shirt off and dancing, looking goofy and stupid and all of that. I was just like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I was like, no. But after a while, it was like, as long as he doesn't show any meat world okay. And you couldn't see any bottom. You just saw his chest, and he's in such great shape. I'm sure nobody is like up there really going in on him about it. Yes, we're going to laugh about him dancing, not knowing that anybody can see him, but they can. Okay, Jaywan said it was a flattering angle, to say the least. But either way, Malik messed up. Deja had to call him because Deja watches him every day, watches his live press conferences every day. So she saw, and she called Malik and told him to stop the damn live. Child, that was too funny. Obviously, Malik is in trouble, right? And Randall tries to give him a talking to. He's like, you're in here falling asleep. You were 6 minutes late this morning when you showed up. Like, all of this stuff that you're doing makes me feel like you don't really care about this and you're not taking it seriously. Well, that's not true. And Malik has to explain that he had to get up at 4:30 this morning instead of 5 like he usually does so that he could iron his shirt and get his baby's things together, because that's what he does every day. Every day he gets up, he gets his daughter's food, her clothes, whatever she's going to need that day, he gets that together. Then he gets himself together, then he goes to school. But today he's doing an internship. So yeah, he was 6 minutes late, but he got up at 4:30 this morning to get at your house for 8:06 instead of 8 a.m. He's falling asleep because he's tired, not because this is boring to him. And he is responsible. That's the problem. He got too much on his damn plate. But nobody told you to get this girl pregnant. Y'all out here hunching without condoms, so young, just irresponsible. So he knows that he's going to have to work 10 times as hard to get the things that he wants to get. Not just because he's a young black man, but also now because he has a baby to put first. And Randall, of course, whenever somebody talks about how they put their daughters first, Randall, gets all warm inside. And Malik takes advantage of this and tells him that he is going to an Ivy League school so that he can open a restaurant in Philadelphia that will be the first one to get 3 Michelin stars. So he has a plan, because Randall thought that Malik was like him and was going to kind of dumb down his dreams for the baby. Because a lot of people do that. Women do that every day, B. But he's not going to do that. And Randall was happy to hear that. So he does give him an internship. When Randall got home, Beth was trying to hold in her laugh. I don't know what the hell was going on today, but Lord, that was too funny. Deja tells him that she hates him, but thanks him for helping Malik and for being the amazing dad that he is. And then she kisses him on the cheek. And then Jaywan calls and tells Randall that the video he did went viral. And we see that the Vietnamese man we saw last episode with the little girl, he sees Randall on the press conference because it went national. And he keeps pressing play when he references that he's doing this for his dad, William. And he says his dad's name, William. And we see the man look at the picture of Laurel in him. So I don't know if Laurel is still alive or not, but I know that this man knows that Laurel had a son, and Laurel had a son with a man named William Hill. So y'all, we gonna see. But this episode was good. I believe This Is Us doesn't come back until January. But either way, I'll be back when they come back. I hope y'all enjoyed the review. I love this show so much. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see y'all in the next one. Mwah!